Number 4. And boy was it taxing. It was taxing on a lot of levels. Because, the cardiovascular part of it makes it so overwhelming and you don't want to do it, but you got to keep pushing on. And so we started off with a little, with a little bit of warm up. I did some push-ups and some pull-ups. So my pushes and pulls, my push-ups and pulls. And then we went to the treadmill. I made no delay between the push-ups and the pull-ups and going right to the treadmill, because I knew that. And I was feeling it too. I was feeling that little pump. Once you start to get the pump, everything starts to feel better, and you don't want to do the cardiovascular workout. So I'm like, all right, let's cut to the chase. Get my push-ups and pull-ups. I did 3 sets of that. And then I went to the treadmill. And there I'll post up the times that I did. I cut the time. I think it was 48 minutes. I was able to hit 40s this time at 3.6 something. I don't think it was 6.7 though. I think it was 6.2. I have to double check to see exactly what it was. Around the 3.6s though, just to maintain the same level that I did before. Just so to have some comparison from prior sessions. And it's good to have that mentality going forward, because you need to have that mentality when it comes to the workouts. So you at least strive for getting better each time. I think is the main thing that we can learn here. It's that we're always micro improving. Like, even though I was able, so my last cardio session, I hit I think it was 56 minutes, and it was 3.67, and here I did 3.62 at a pace of 47 minutes. So that will take. I'm okay with those numbers, because it's we're improving, and that's what's needed here, is improvement, because that means that if we're getting better at those times, we're also getting more like cardiovascularly prepared, and our stamina is increasing. With our stamina is increasing, our fitness is increasing. With our fitness is increasing, we're going to lose weight. So everything has a cascade effect, and just strive at improving those numbers every time. So I'm going to work on going from 40s down even more, which I thought was tough, because I was really going hard today. I hit the 7s this time, and at the 7s I was there for 2 minutes, and that was rough. I don't usually I didn't my prior workout hit 7s. I hit 6.5 range, and I was fine with it, and I was still getting very, very fatigued. But here I hit the 7s, and I went on that for a little bit, and so that's why I was able to up my average this time. So this is a gradual. You guys are going to go on this with me. I'm very excited to show you the results. I did go and do some mirror work. I didn't like it. It didn't look like it was prep ready. To show you the difference. The difference, I think, will really come in our next session. And that's when you could really see, just in 3 sessions, what this workout is capable of. And not even dieting like really, really clean. Like, if I was dieting really, really clean, the effects would be, instantaneous almost. Not from one day to the next. Maybe a couple days, but it'll still be, you guys will notice it, because I can notice it when I look in the mirror. Of course, with those kinds of very extreme diets, there are some kickbacks, which is that if you start eating regularly, you're just going to gain it back. So here we're kind of like, okay, it's okay to cheat a little bit. I'm almost masking my same diet that I would otherwise on a maintenance schedule. and I'm just eating less of whatever it is, to the point where I'm not like, I'll have an appetite around 10 o'clock, and I know that's not a good time to eat. So, I'll eat something healthy, or I'll have something like a little snack, maybe some nuts, maybe a protein bar, maybe a protein shake, like one of those little drinks that you can buy at the gas station. That any little bit helps, to where you just satisfy your hunger, but you're not getting, you're not overeating. You're not inducing a carb state prior to going to bed, because there you're just picking up all those calories. Those calories are getting stored right off the bat. So we gotta avoid that at all costs. And the diet that we're doing now is just, your regular diet that you would have on any given day, just less of it. So try not to eat the whole meal. Try to give half away. If you're eating with somebody, just say, I'm not hungry here, you have the rest. And not only that, it also teaches like a mental depravity, and it shows that you can have some restraint, some mental restraint. If anything, it's a really good thing to practice mental restraint during at least this 14-day trial, because then you'll get better at it for other trials. I think if this is successful, we can have larger trials of longer days and see the benefit there, or even shorter days, with the extreme diet kind of principle added to it, because we can rapidly lose. That's how these body, these fighters. I think one of them is like Patty, who really just gains weight in 2 weeks. He's able to go from an insane amount of weight. He gained like 20 pounds in 2 weeks or some insane, and then he sheds it all 2 weeks prior. And I know that he's utilizing these key concepts into his workout and his diet. He can still probably get away with, eating. I know he's very strict with his carbs but even then, so as long as you're timing it appropriately, you can get away with it. I mean, having a very carby meal before your workout is fine if it doesn't make you sick, because that's what happens to me, is that I have a carby meal before I go work out, which is I've done before, which is okay. However, it puts you like in a glycemic state. The blood flow's moving to the GI system. Everything is shifting towards a rest and digest, not a fight and flight. So I don't typically like to eat a large meal before I go work out. But if you want to time a meal appropriately, one of the best meals you can time is prior to going to work out, because why? You're going to expend energy, and what better way to expend energy from a meal that you've just consumed? That replaces the glycogen. Remember, we're not so much worried about what the exercise does for you in the moment in terms of fat loss. It's really the post-workout effects, the cardiovascular dynamics that you've built from maintaining this like constant cardiac output, this constant cardiovascular intensity that you've done for your workout. That is what's really going to have this effect on you. It's not anything else. This is what's really going to play a significant role for you going forward. So we did that, which was good, and I'm happy about the overall results so far. This is only my second session. I feel like my body's better. One of the things that you're going to notice halfway through, at least you should notice it, you're going to feel better in your clothes. Like the clothes will fit better. You'll feel better when you walk. There's less jiggle, because fat jiggles. There's less jiggle to your body, which is a nice thing. You don't want too much jiggly power. The clothes is a huge benefit, because there's other clothes that you have in your closet that you probably haven't worn in a while. And so, when you were skinny back in your skin, it's like, oh, now I've, new wardrobe available, which is nice. And even old wardrobe that you don't like wearing, and you're like, I didn't look good in this because I didn't like the way my body felt in it. Now your body feels good in it. And so it leaves you, having that effect. And that's something that I really like, doing these things. Granted, it's temporary torture, but the torture is so temporary. That's how you gotta realize that the benefit is so much more than the temporary torture. It's for a longer period of time. So the temporary torture is like, okay, let's say, we've combined 50 minutes and 40 minutes. We've done 90 minutes of torture in terms of cardiovascular training, and I'm already feeling a benefit. Even though it's not substantial, to me it's a benefit, and I'm going to feel better about it, later. So that's one of the good things. So I'm very happy how this has panned out. So let's see session number 5. Session number 5, I'll think about incorporating another cardiovascular session just because of the benefits that we've had so far. This will be the 3rd of the series in terms of cardiovascular. Or we can do, because the way I like to think about it too is that if you do have a workout day where it's just weightlifting, it'll be a weightlifting rest day, if that makes sense, because you're not, in the 14-day challenge, the idea is to lose weight. And that day you're not really losing unless you have a strict diet that day. And by strict, I mean strict. Because for me, it's never been an easy battle to have a just simply weight-driven cardiovascular routine that's not very taxing. I need to make it very taxing for me to have any weight loss benefit. So by very taxing, I mean sometimes what I would do, and I wish I was posting before, my adventures of what I would do in order to have this cardiovascular part of my weight training. And that was going outside and filming myself outside. I didn't get around to doing that, but it's such a huge benefit. If you have the sun, the heat, and you're outdoors also doing some strenuous activity. So by that I mean like squats, deadlifts, man, I would even do cleans. I would do muscle presses. I would do, what else? Curls, barbell rows. I would bring my bench press out there. I'd be that full. People would pull over because I'm the only idiot. I had an SUV at the time, and I brought a bench press that I bought online, along with a straight bar. And I didn't get no pussy straight bar. I got the Olympic style straight bar that they use in the gym. Put that shit in my car, along with that, like 2 45-pound weights. Like, I would really just pack the car with so much heavy shit, and I would take it to the park and I would set it up. And that whole process of that, I would just leave the weights in my car after some time, because I didn't want to go ahead and have this ordeal where I need to put weights in my car every time that I go to the park. I'll just have them available ready for me. So that whole thing took around, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes to set up, in terms of going to the park, getting my little bench press out there, my little Olympic bar, along with the weights to set up. That whole process took about 20 minutes to set up. And that was okay with it. I mean, I like doing it, I like the way it feels when you're out there in the sun. You're doing 2 things at once. I would go from like the incline. I would have to, I'm not gonna have, actually I did have a little stand to put the bar as well. So the stand, the bar, and the bench press, I would do my incline, put the bar rested on and then I would get the bar again and then do some barbell rolls. I would just be creative with it to where I'm doing multiple things at once. And it had that cardiovascular, but even then, even then when I was doing that, the benefits weren't as great as these cardiovascular sessions in terms of weight loss. So, you know, that's one thing that is just, because again, it's like a calisthenic workout. You can stop whenever you want. In the cardiovascular part, you can push yourself a little better. It's easier to push yourself. You can go on like a 7 or a 6.5, and as long as you tell yourself mentally, I'm going to keep going, I'm going to keep going, you really can keep going. You really can. It's easier. It's just easier to do it. So I highly recommend that for anybody that's trying to lose weight. This is the go-to method. Is the treadmill. I know it sucks. Get over it. Get over it. I know it sucks, but the benefits outweigh the temporary torture that you will have to go through to get through this. Because there's nothing else is great. You can do your Stairmaster, you can do your bike, you can do whatever. That is the most efficient way. And if you're doing it outdoors, even better. Even better. I assure you, that is the best. You'll see the results even sooner. Thing is, when I go outdoors, I have the ground and me are not friends, just because I'm exerting so much added pressure on my knees, and I am not having the benefit there. If anything, I'm having more cost because of the knees, and then I can't work out again because I'm injured, and so I'm always thinking about injury. Because I don't want to injure. Because if I injure myself, and it could be like a light sprain on my shoulder, because I went too heavy because I'm a dumbass, and I've had this constant bout, these constant battles of going too heavy in the gym, fucking up a tendon, and then I go there with an injured shoulder because I can't not go to the gym. I can't not go. So I'm going there with injuries. And so I'm like, dude, fuck this. What is the point? I'm not getting any bigger off these the same thing, shoulder presses or your bench press. Look at all these guys that can bench a shit ton of weight. Like, are they any bigger unless they're taking shit? The answer is no. And the answer is no, because it's a movement that we're used to. I don't care how much you could lift on the bench press. Do you look good? Is your chest bigger? Because if it's not, you're doing something wrong. So you got to switch up the movement. You got to make something dynamic about it. You got to incorporate more muscles. You got to change the intensity. You got to change the volume. You got to change the repetitions. You got to make it different. And that is the only way you're going to really achieve maximal growth every time you go. That makes sense. At least it does to me. And that's what I've been doing. But I've bulked too much. So that's all right. So session number 5. This is session number 4, the end of session number 4. We did a little bit of push-up and pull-ups to start. I didn't document those. I mean, I didn't log those. I didn't record them, just because there was a good deal of people there today at 4 in the morning, and I didn't want to be the douche that records today. But I was able to do about 10 good pull-ups, and I mean 10 good ones, like all the way down, all the way up, no bullshitting, 10 goodies. Okay, and then on my last few reps, I make sure that I'm holding myself, because the way that your body works is that, he really exerted himself here. He is going to prepare for the next onslaught, the next session, the next time he works out. So my muscles are going to be ready for the next, intensive labor that I'm putting it through. So hopefully it does that. I'm hoping it does, because I actually want to get better at pull-ups with my current body weight. But I know once I lose weight, I'm going to be able to do more. I mean, my initial kind of reaction to the pull-ups was that I'm hoping that I can do more pull-ups in my body weight. I never really could break the mark of 10 to 12. And I would do those a lot, man. I really would do those a lot at my body weight. It's just, I'm too heavy. My body wasn't getting, my muscles weren't getting stronger at that activity. Maybe if I was taking shit, I could. but I never could pass that 10 to 12, 10 to 12, and I would wait. You know, I was like, okay, let's try 13. It's like, nope, still. It's one of those activities. It's so good for you too. It is so good. You're incorporating so many muscle groups. The long head, the short head of the biceps, the shoulders are getting incorporated. The back, so many back muscles are getting incorporated. I mean, the entire back, entire upper back. You know, you're not really incorporating the lower back, paraspinals and stuff and such. But you know, the upper back is getting fully incorporated, and all the heads of the biceps and the forearms. I need to say your hands also get a little bit stronger, even though now I'm using gloves. I got over my hands because that bar is just so vicious on your hands. It's so absolutely fucking vicious. So I got these Under Armour gloves, padded, comforted, because I can grab that bar better. And if you're grabbing that bar better, you're utilizing more of the you're just able to incorporate more of the muscle group than a slipping, because it's slipping. It's really slipping on my hands. And you know, the calluses don't open up. And I like that my calluses don't, because I have long hair, and so when I do this, the raspy part of my callus rubs against my hair, and I hate that. So I got some gloves for that. So we did the push-ups and the pull-ups. I did as many as I could do push-up wise, which is around 50, and as many as I can do pull-up wise, which is around 10, which is not bad. It's very average in terms of your, any person at any BMI should be able to do that. If you're too heavy and you can't do 10 pull-ups, then work on it. Really work on it. Anybody should be able to do it. Like a healthy individual should be. For women, you should be able to do at least two good ones. For being a fit, healthy woman, because pull-ups are hard. For men, you should be able to do 10, and 10 good ones. I see these fucking huge monsters, and they can't even do a pull-up. It's like, dude, you should be able to do pull-ups, okay? You're lifting your body weight. It's like benching your body weight. Everyone should be able to bench their body weight, at least once. So we did that, warmed it up. Then we went to the treadmill, and I would fluctuate between the 7 going back down to 5, and that is the key element there. You're going to 7, and then you're still going on a jogging. You're still jogging. You're not just stopping. I hope that is something that we really focus on here. We're not just stopping. We're going. After we hit the intense running session, we go down, but we go down to a intermediate point of not stopping, of not even walking. We're light jogging, and jog, as slow as you can if you're really fatigued, but make sure you're jogging. And that is something that is going to be the improvement for next time, because if you just stop dead on, the improvement is not going to be as quick. It's going to be a very slow improvement. I've noticed this because I've done this in the past, where I also have done the same running intensity of 6.5, and then I drop all the way down to 3. And I noticed that in terms of my cardiovascular ability, it wasn't as great as having that jogging session in between there. And so I've incorporated that. That'll really help us. And so, I think for next session, I'm gonna do, if everything is healthy, I might do another running session. So far we're at almost 7 miles, and we're only on session 4. So that's good. We can probably break by, keeping this rate, we can break 20 by the end of the week, assuming that I keep this rate, because I don't want to overdo it. My idea with getting size was that I wanted to be a healthy fit, but I overdid it. So that wasn't in the plans. And so I overdid it, and now I'm a little too heavy, and now I'm trying to cut down. And the cutting process is dangerous, especially these 14 days, because you can burn a little bit of muscle. You can't. If you're going too hard to the gym, there's possibilities of overtraining, especially if you haven't done it in a while. So if you're an experienced athlete, however, overtraining, there's a huge, what's the word? Cutoff for you. But if you haven't been, the cutoff is much lower. Luckily, I'm kind of been doing this a while, so a little bit of higher cutoff, just a little bit. And it's nice because I can get away with a lot more, like 2 a days, which I don't do anymore. But you could, if you really wanted to, in these 14 days, you could absolutely do. If your body handles it well, you can absolutely do 2 a day sessions. Don't overdo it. You can do 2 a day sessions every other day. That'll be something that you can, we can obviously incorporate or change for the next, having these things in the future. So next session, let's talk about next session. Next session, this will be session number 5 of 14. So 9 more sessions to go. Session number 5, we'll look into cardiovascular training, and then we will see about doing some lower extremities incorporated. I like squats for our next one. Let's do squats, push-ups, and push-ups. A little bicep training. How are your biceps feeling? Or triceps. If you're already incorporating the chest and the quads and the hamstrings, we can probably do some tricep work. So for our push-ups, we can probably do some close grip push-ups. And then, for the triceps, I want to do rope. Let's do overhead rope. Yeah, that's what we're going to do tomorrow. So tomorrow is session 5. We're going to do push-ups, squats. The squats I don't do free weight squats as much as I used to. I do a lot of machine-based squats. So these are they're kind of fixed squats. It's not the Smith machine, but it's a machine that lets you do a front squat machine. It's the front squat machine. I typically like those. I mean, it isolates the quads a little bit, but you're also getting the hammies in there. I mean, there's no way you're not getting hammies when you're doing a squat. So it's one of the reasons I also enjoy it. And let me tell you, the leg presses aren't bad ones either. The leg presses, you incorporate a lot of muscles, but it's an awkward movement for your body. That's the only thing I can't say about that. And bodies are not, designed for awkward movements. That's why the best leg training is still a squat. But I avoid them like the plague, to be honest. The movement is so awkward. I need to take off my shoes. I do not like doing squats with inclined shoes. And so you got to take off your shoes. However, it's a wooden panel squat rack, so you got to get special shoes. And now I have to wear special shoes to the gym. I'm like, dude, it's too much. It's too much, because then I have running shoes, special shoes. Like, no, let's not do all this stuff, okay? So I avoid them because of the wood panel floors, mostly, to be honest. So I go and do my machines, which is similar to the same movement, but if free weight is so much better, obviously. And so we're going to do that. We're going to do machine-based squats. We're going to do push-ups, which are going to be close grip, close grip push-ups, and incorporating more of the triceps. And then we'll finish with a tricep-based rope workout, which is going to be over the head. And then we're going to do treadmill and try to keep that same pace going, hopefully shorten the time. Or I want to keep the same distance, sorry. I want to keep the same distance going and shorten the time. That's the ideal situation there. And I'll post the times that I did today, just so we have some reference and to see the progress that we're making. moving forward. So post that, and then session 5, we'll post the session there. Okay. All right. Well, stay tuned, and let's get it. So here's the distance that I did for this session, 3.67, which matched, I think, perfectly with the last session I did. And sorry for the numbers here, but that's the 48:45. That's the time elapsed. So improvement from the prior session of 50, I believe it was 52 minutes. So about a 4-minute improvement, given the same amount of distance.